Thank you for joining us today. Last week, we had the mark of the 2 years to the U.S. brokered agreement between the UAE and Bahrain and Israel, known as the Abrahamic Accords. And while we do our best to follow and adjust to the news cycle and many geopolitical events in the very recent past, I think it's a great opportunity to take a pause and reflect on the progress of the last 2 years of this major event in the region.
60 plus companies actually just in the room next door, Korean companies that are looking to establish themselves within Abu Dhabi. The priority sectors that we found in terms of what it is that we want to be able to achieve over the next 10 years is very much aligned with what we found being within our partners within Israel. And so we talk about healthcare, biopharma, we talk about agriculture, or specifically ag tech, we talk about financial services, we talk about tourism, and we talk about ICT, just in general, and how we can really promote the innovation side at every stage of that industry, whether it be at a seed stage, at a venture stage, growth, private equity, or potentially at a global stage. And these 5 sectors, and then with an undertone of industrialization, we just announced the Abu Dhabi Industrial Strategy about a couple of months ago. These opportunities are ones that we believe fundamentally that we can benefit from one another, right? So we talk about the agriculture sector, for example, right? And Abu Dhabi has a harsh climate, right? And we know this, and we've dealt with this for many centuries. The idea is, if we are going to be very much in this time frame, a self-sustaining economy, an ability for us to be able to grow our own produce, right? Rather than rely on a significant amount of imports, we need to leverage technology, which is already available and can draw even further innovation or disruption that we found within the Israeli market. And a lot of the conversations that I had when I was there just 2 weeks ago were with Israeli ag tech companies. These startups that found an opportunity for themselves to grow within Abu Dhabi because we were able to unlock regulation for them that they didn't have elsewhere. We were able to unlock partnerships and markets for them that they didn't have elsewhere. We talked about, and we share in this with our Israeli cousins, the ability for us to be able to access 80% of the world's market just within an 8-hour flight. But we have also the bilateral trade agreements that are in place that gives an ability for any Israeli company to take advantage of that platform, just like any Korean company, for that matter, to take advantage of that platform and be able to use Abu Dhabi as a platform for growth. Right? And that's through those sectors, you're hitting multiple buckets at the same time. You're checking multiple boxes. You're giving opportunities for knowledge transfer to occur, for our talent to develop, for access to future talent as well that are unfortunately finding themselves in a situation for geopolitical reasons having to relocate. Right? And Abu Dhabi is a safe haven because of that, and so on and so forth.
Jason.
I want to add, because you asked about more generally, let's talk Korea, because we're in Korea now. I think Korea actually can play a very important role. There could be an Israeli-UAE-Korea triangle, not necessarily on a government level, but on a business level. You know, you had mentioned, Abdullah, that the UAE and Israel were similar populations, similar size. Korea has a very similar history with Israel as well. And partnering with Korean companies, not just in the UAE, using the UAE as a springboard, Saudi Arabia, which also has tremendous projects coming up. I think the Crown Prince, MBS, will be here, I believe, in November. There are so many things that are ripe for working on right now. And this Israel-UAE partnership, maybe adding on Korea, can be a tremendous opportunity for so many people. And I want to take it a step further, because I too am no longer an official, so I can say this. I've heard this is now my 2nd visit to Korea in about 2 months. It's a great country, by the way. But I've heard the whisperings that people are still worried about the so-called Arab boycott of Israel. And I think you don't just have to look on this stage, but you just really should look at Sheikh Abdullah, the foreign minister's visit to Israel, to understand, yes, there are certain countries, some of whom you don't even want to do business with, where that may be true. But the vast majority of countries in the region are willing to do business with Israel. Working with a partner like the UAE will only enhance those opportunities. Working with a partner like the UAE actually will make it smarter because, as Mati says, the Israelis didn't quite understand the Emiratis at first, or the Arabs at first, having partners like the UAE. The cultures are a little bit different, in many ways the same, but I think the advice would be, look to these partnerships, don't be afraid of the so-called Arab boycott, figure out the extent to which Korea could be folded in. Those are my pieces of advice.
If I may also add on to that, and this was mentioned to us just as we were walking in as well, there seems to be also a not true preconceived notion that Korean companies need to choose between either the UAE or Israel in terms of partnership. And I think what's being reflected just in terms of this conversation, but what you will see hopefully more and more on the ground with His Highness's visit last week and so on, is that it's actually, if it is in your mind, it's no longer the case. If it is an opportunity that you want to leverage, we would welcome having you join us and collectively, right? And I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues here, and using either the UAE or Abu Dhabi as a platform, or using Israel as a platform to be able to leverage opportunities that you can have access to throughout the region. And so I would encourage further discussion. We have taken it one step further. As the Abu Dhabi, obviously with His Excellency, our ambassador also present, there is a lot more opportunities for you to interact with companies physically through the offices that are already available to you here. The Abu Dhabi Investment Office has an office in Seoul as well to take advantage of, so that we can help channel these conversations to make it easy for companies to be able to come through, get a concierge service, be able to find partners, be able to leverage those partners for future growth and expansion. We've done the same in Tel Aviv. We have an office in Tel Aviv as well, to do exactly that, to provide for an ease of transfer of knowledge, but also to create that corridor and make it a lot less of a question mark whether if I can do it, but it's more about when we can actually get something done.